Good morning, I'm Steve Forbes and this is 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is where you get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, China is showing some first signs of real economic stress. But first, data for American household net worth in the March quarter of 2019 showed this wealth recovered sharply after the fourth quarter 2018 plunge. It increased by a massive $4.7 trillion US dollars, or up 4.5% after the 3.7% drop in the previous quarter. US household debt levels are now under 75% of GDP, a load that is slowly falling. In China, they are tightening their capital controls, and that is having some interesting day-to-day consequences. Despite their official claims they have everything under control, foreign banks are increasingly reluctant to lend US dollars to Chinese banks, and the nervous behaviour of some Chinese citizens as they scramble to get foreign currency is raising concerns. In a recent mid-sized bank failure, which Chinese authorities claim is an isolated case, may be more widespread than that. The central bank is having to pump in much more market liquidity than that failed bank's situation needs. It's not just banking that is showing signs of stress. The recent sharp falls in Chinese car sales aren't responding to stimulus measures. Overall, confidence is taking some hits, and to be fair, it's not just the Chinese car industry under pressure. The trade war policies are causing US exports and US imports to shrink, and quite quickly too. The OECD says inflation is rising, and it says among their member countries it has picked up to 2.5% in April compared with 2.3% in March, as energy prices increased by 3.8%. In Europe, the European Central Bank opened the door to interest rate cuts, a significant policy shift that amplifies a global trend towards easier monetary policy to combat weaker growth, and it is clear that the US Federal Reserve is considering them as well. The US Treasury 10-year yield is little changed overnight and is still at 2.12%. Gold keeps rising, today up $7, now at $1,336 per ounce. US oil prices rose a little overnight, up $1 to just on $53 US dollars per barrel, and the Brent benchmark is now at $62 US dollars per barrel. The Kiwi dollar is still holding and is now at 66.3 US cents. On the cross rates, we are unchanged at 95 Australian cents, and against the euro, we are stable at 58.8 euro cents. The trade weighted index remains at 71. I'm Steve Forbes, and that was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.